Mark Wallace, and I'd like to introduce you to the Pocket Wizard Mini TT1 and Flex TT5 for Nikon. The Mini and Flex are the perfect tools for getting your flash off your camera, but they'll help you do a lot more than that. Now, the Mini and Flex are designed to work with your existing Nikon camera and flash, and setting things up is pretty simple. Now, before you use the Mini and Flex the first time, you'll need to turn on an auto FP setting. Now, this will allow your flash to fire at all shutter speeds and make sure you get the most out of your system. So it's really simple. What we'll do is we'll go into the menu button on our camera and then go to the custom settings menu, which is the little pencil, and then go down till you hit bracketing and flash, which is E on most Nikons, and then you can either go right or hit OK, and then you'll see flash sync speed. Once you get there, again, go right with your thumb pad or hit OK, and then navigate so you see 1/250th of a second auto FP. Make sure that's selected and then hit OK to save your changes. Now, if you normally have your auto FP setting at 320, you'll need to make sure you set it to 250 when you're working with the Mini or Flex. And you only have to set that up once, and now that we have that set up, let me show you how to use the Mini and the Flex. Now first, we're going to slide our Mini onto our camera's hot shoe. So I'll slide that on and lock it into place. And then what we're going to do is slide our flash onto the hot shoe of our Flex. And then we'll lock that into place as well. Now remember, you'll need both a Mini and a Flex or two Flex transceivers. You need something on the camera to transmit and then something on each flash to receive. Okay, well next we're going to turn on the flash. So I'll turn that on. Now to make sure that's set to this normal TTL mode, and that's just the default setting. You don't have to turn the flash to remote or do anything special to make this work. The Flex is going to handle everything for you. In fact, the Flex automatically switches to FP sync mode, so you're ready to shoot at any speed right up to 1/8,000th of a second. Just slide it on and lock it in. That's it. Okay, so what we're going to do next is we're going to set both the Mini and the Flex to the same channel. This also turns them on. So I'll set the Mini to C1, and then this guy right here, the Flex, to C1, and we're all turned on. Now, the screen on your flash is not going to change to remote, so make sure you remember that. It's going to look the same as it does when it's sitting on your camera. Even when you change power settings or change your ISO or set up different zones, the screen is going to look exactly the same. And also, if you've changed your flash zoom illumination pattern, make sure you set it back to standard. That's the way the Pocket Wizard system is designed to work. Now, what we're going to do is turn on our camera, and we're almost ready to shoot. So I want you to take note of how I turned this system on. I started at the top, and I worked my way down. I did Flash, Flex, Mini, Camera. So for the very best results, make sure you power everything up from top to bottom. Now before we start shooting, we're going to want to mount the off-camera flash to a light stand or have an assistant hold it for us. And since I don't have an assistant here today, I'm going to mount it to this light stand right here. Now the neat thing is the Flex actually has a standard hot shoe mount on the bottom, and that makes it really easy to mount it to an umbrella adapter like this guy here. So I'm just going to mount this right here and make sure I lock that into place. And you can get these at most camera stores. So once I have that on there, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure I put this right here on my light stand. So I have that there. Then the other thing I want to do is I want to make sure that my antenna on my Flex is out. So make sure you put that all the way out like that when you have your Flex on. Okay, so we're ready to start. Now what I want to do is I want to soften this light up just a little bit. So I'm also going to add an umbrella. So I'll just pop this out right here, throw that on there, and that is it. Now I'll zip this right back here. Excellent. Okay, so now the cool thing is with the Pocket Wizard Mini and Flex, the camera thinks that the flash is attached to the camera, and the flash thinks it's attached to the camera and operating in basic ITTL mode. Now this means that all of the normal flash functions are still available to you, and the beauty of this system is that you can start immediately and you can just start shooting, and you can use all of the standard Nikon controls that you've come to love. The camera and flash, well, they work together to meter the light and make all the adjustments necessary for a perfect exposure automatically. Even if you're bouncing light using an umbrella like this one or a different light modifier, you don't have to learn anything new to get great pictures. Now to show you how simple these are to use, I've asked Brenda to join me. So you ready to do some headshots? Yeah. Okay, so let's get going. Look right at me. Beautiful, just like that. Well, that's pretty cool, but it's just the tip of the iceberg. The Mini and Flex do a lot more than just allow you to move your flash off your camera. Let me show you a few things you can do with the Pocket Wizards. Let's start with the Pocket Wizard Mini TT1. The Mini is Pocket Wizard's compact transmitter. You can use it to fire any Pocket Wizard receiver. The Mini is fully compatible with the +2 Multimax or any flash with the Pocket Wizard built in. But what sets the Mini apart is its ability to work with the Flex transceiver and your existing Nikon flash system. It transmits all of the camera's ITTL information so that you can use your Nikon flash and all of its features wirelessly. The Mini uses radio signals instead of light to communicate with the Flex and remote flash. This means that you can shoot in direct sunlight and at long distances. It also means that the transmitter and receiver don't have to see each other to work. Now there's a USB port on the side of the Mini, so you can connect it to a computer. And this allows you to upgrade your Mini when new features are released. And it also allows you to set many of the advanced features of the Mini. You can customize all kinds of things. You can tell the Mini when to switch to FP sync, you can set up the channels used for communication, and you can even turbocharge your camera's sync speed using a technology called HyperSync. The Mini is a transmitter and it sits on your camera's hot shoe. And the Flex TT5 is a transceiver. Now that means that it can be used on your camera as a transmitter, just like the Mini, or as a receiver to catch the radio signals from your Mini or Flex. Now just like the Mini, it also works with other Pocket Wizard radios like the +2 and the Multimax. That means that you can use it like a normal Pocket Wizard to trigger flashes in manual mode, or use it with another Flex or Mini to control your Nikon flash in ITTL mode. The Flex has all of the features of the Mini, but it also has camera and flash ports like a standard Pocket Wizard. And that means that you can use the Flex to control a camera remotely or use it to trigger any studio strobe. It also has a switch on the side, and that allows you to use Nikon's zone system for wireless ratio control. It also allows you to use the Flex with Pocket Wizard Multimax zones. Now the Mini and Flex add the flexibility of Pocket Wizard radio technology to the Nikon ITTL flash system. Now you can place your flashes anywhere radio signals can travel, out of sight around corners, behind cars, and at distances that were never before possible. And if you add a second Flex and Nikon flash, you have all the ingredients of a small studio. Well, now that you know a little bit more about the Mini and the Flex, let's take them out for a test spin. So I've asked Brenda here to help me demonstrate some of these features. So you ready?
Yes.
All right, well, let's get started. In this setup, Brenda is standing under a patio that was covered with flowers. Inside the patio, I placed an SB900 on a Flex and used an umbrella as my key light. To give Brenda a highlight on her shoulder, I placed a second SB900 and Flex just behind her and opposite of my key light. To give Brenda's eyes a nice catch light, I added a third SB900 on a Flex outside of the patio and just to camera left. The camera was set to aperture priority mode, I shot at 2.8, and my shutter speed was 25/100th of a second. In this setup, I used two SB900 flashes mounted on two Flex units to create a small studio. The umbrellas were used to soften the light. I shot with a Nikon D700 and had a Mini mounted on the hot shoe to trigger the flashes. All of these photos were shot in aperture priority mode and the flashes were in ITTL mode. Well, thanks, Brenda. That was a lot of fun.
Sure.
Well, for more information about the Mini TT1 and Flex TT5 and the amazing ways that you can use them, be sure to watch the full series of instructional videos at pocketwizard.com. Thanks for joining us.